You know, like why can't I bring my bottle of Coke into the restaurant? Like,
right.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I totally hear you.
So silly.
Yeah, just the whole, I think just in general, this is all speaking to the culture of respect.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that there's a little bit more of a collectivist kind of mindset, and that's really seen in the day-to-day life. Like, people are always just always wanting to help you, always wanting to make sure that they're not doing something that's going to kind of, one, offend other people, but also two, like, be that one person that's singled out in the crowd, you know what I mean? Usually it's more like, hey, let's do everything together, and like, so.
And I feel like the reason
that answered your question a little bit.
And I feel like a big part of that too is like they have so much respect, like not only for themselves but also for their family, and like they realize that, you know, if I'm gonna steal the shoes, like not only is this gonna negatively impact me, but it's gonna negatively impact like my family and my family's name. And I respect and love my family so much, so even though I might want to steal these pair of shoes, am I really gonna do that to my family? You
That's
know,
really
like
cool. Yeah.
where
That sense of community awareness.
Yeah, totally.
Community awareness.
We all
that's a good way to
affect
say
each
it.
other. I've been, like, I was 8 when I moved to this country, but I think that's one of the things that's always been on my radar is, in our experience collectively as fellow human beings from different and distinct and diverse parts, how do we, in essence, continue to make that experience better? And so I'm always on the sensitive awareness of where do the points of division come in, even by way of contrast, because there's a way you can contrast that brings more division, and then others that actually brings more enjoyment of diversity, right?
Right, yeah. Like, highlighting the diversity rather than trying to find the ways in order to make yourself different.
Hierarchically.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
Did you say that you were new to this country?
Once upon a time.
Yeah,
when
where
I was
are you
8.
from?
Well, I was born in Ethiopia.
Okay.
But I grew up in Kenya
Oh.
till that point. Before my family moved here.
How old were you when that happened?
8 years old.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So you do still have some memories of growing up in Kenya then?
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely.
fantastic.
Most of my young years are there. So.
Yeah.
But it's, I think you guys might experience this, but that point of comparison is a really powerful thing coming into this culture. To be able to say, here's one way of thinking about it, here's another way of thinking about it, but how do we sort of make this work in a complementary way, right?
Right.
I'm not sure who's off first here.
Trevor.
Trevor.
Yes.
Okay, before you run off here, one thing I just want to throw out your way. I would love to feature this conversation because I think it's really intriguing for my followers, but I never do so unless I have consent.
Okay.
And it has to be enthusiastic consent, and I'd love to encourage a no answer as well too. If it's an online platform that I usually facilitate, where my theme is how can I encourage more of these kind of attractions kind of thing, if you guys are game. But hey, again, feel free to say no if it's like privacy is a concern for you guys, because I do want to honor that.
Yeah, absolutely. Privacy is not an issue for at least myself.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's really cool.
I'll get Emily to fill in the rest of it, but maybe just put your name and signature at the bottom there, Trevor.
Yeah, great.
You just want to put your name there, and then I can fill out the
My
rest.
name here.
And then just sign at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
And then I'll just put all of the rest of the details in.
I never even asked how you guys met, because that's another fantastic.
Yeah, that is another fantastic story.
I'll let Emily tell you that.
Yeah.
A pleasure.
It was
meeting
very
you,
nice to meet you.
Trevor.
Thank you for your
I
conversation.
hope you have the pleasure again.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, it's always a great way to spend the morning is talking to somebody that I don't know, and somebody that's interesting. So, thank you.
You're so welcome.
See you
Okay,
soon.
bye, man. Have a
enriched.
good day. Love you.
Have a great day. Thanks
You too,
again.
Trevor.
Yeah, so bye, hon.
Bye.
We actually met at university.
Okay.
So we went to the University of Guelph.
Yeah.
And we met there at a campus pub. And Trevor had actually just got back from a summer in Europe that he had done with his friends, and I had just got back from living in Costa Rica for the summer by myself.
Okay.
So we had like just tons of stories all about traveling. That was kind of everything that we talked about. And then honestly, there was like a couple days before Halloween, and then we hung out again on Halloween, and we've been together 6.5 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I imagine when you're traveling in a place unfamiliar, that seems to be a really good testing ground for relationships.
Yeah, it's so funny that you say that, because honestly, I would say that when we are at our best is when we are traveling.
That's amazing.
It's like there's nothing. We're just both so on our game, and we get each other, and it's just nothing but like teamwork and excitement, and even when things go terribly wrong,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's like we relish in those moments, and, you know, all the problem solving and all that stuff. So it really was,
That's amazing.
it really was such a clue for us that we could be together,
Yes.
because, you know, we both love to travel.
Yeah. Well, especially in the face of the unknown.
100%, right? Like, that's the time that it's easiest to be, you know, cranky or grumpy or blame the other person, you know, because this went wrong, and
Yeah.
you know, this, that, or the other thing. But yeah, we really do find that that is kind of the environment that our relationship strives.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So then what's the contrast as you're experiencing life in a more stable...
Yeah, actually, like, kind of once we get into, and I think I'm probably partially to blame, and I'm sure Trevor would say the same, but
Yeah.
kind of when we get into this, you know, traditional, like, way of living and just, like, working so much, it's so, like, outside of what we've ever known. Because, I mean, even when we lived in Taiwan and stuff, we still live such an adventurous life, and you know, we're working, but we're not working like full time, and you know what I mean, there's just so much more like flexibility. And so kind of like coming back here and being back when our whole life has mostly been living in different places. Like when we were just together for 5 months, we moved to Waterton Parks and worked a summer there together, right? So it's like our whole lives have always been traveling together and having new experiences. So when we kind of encounter like the world of like the mundane, that's kind of where like we kind of struggle a bit.
So it's almost like you had a taste of like adrenaline packed ongoing, like this is ongoing moment by moment trying to figure it out, and now we're at the point of like this is getting monotonous. I wonder if that might be something too that most of us here may have to ask, is that question of what does it look like to remember why you're doing what you're doing instead of just going through the motions. And I think a lot of people may find at the end of it all that they don't have much to reflect on by way of investment in ways that really they found value in, right?
It's true, right? Like it really is, it's different for us. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, how this new chapter of our life works. Because like I said, like we just moved here. You know, luckily working like casual positions, it does give us a little bit of freedom. I mean, I don't necessarily know, you know, if that freedom will continue. If I take on like more of a permanent role, but at least for him, like kind of having that like flexibility of, oh, I don't want to work this day, you know.
Sure enough.
And all of that. But I mean, regardless, we're both just really excited, and at least even though it might seem to start looking mundane, it's still very new and exciting to us. So I think the time will really tell, you know, a few months down the line.
One of the things I found really, for me, helpful in making life here juicy is by challenging the social norms. So I found my background from a different cultural context plays into that, where it's like, why do we think or do or say the things that we do? Or like, just to be able to, like, for me, even pinpoint more, here's where my value system lies, and here's why it lies there, and here's where it kind of it comes into contrast with where I'm currently at. So when you push back that way sometimes and learn to do so, because the real big thing is how we communicate those differences, especially in a context where offense can easily be taken.
Definitely.
And so that's where I found for me, my life seems rich here in a context where so many are living in mundane sort of monotony. I'm like, how can I keep on pushing against what I'm experiencing or seeing in front of me so that I can bring something that's more worthwhile?
And I think that's definitely, you know, for us going to be the key to living a more fulfilled life, you know, as we get older, and maybe as we do start, you know, settling down more, is doing exactly what you say, you know, just looking for ways to, you know, even recognizing that monotony in the first place, and then figuring out, okay, like, what am I going to do to push past this and to grow forward, so that I don't end up the person that I never wanted to be, or living the life that, you know, like I never felt like I wanted.
This is me, Emily.
I was just gonna ask if there was a way that I could
follow me and see what I do and keep in touch.
Oh my gosh, I would absolutely love that. That would be so great. This has probably been like the best Uber ride ever. I'm not going to lie, and I've taken quite a few Ubers all over the world, but this one definitely is up there. So thank you so much, Vinyam. I hope you have a fabulous day.
Emily, thrilled to meet you.
Oh, it was so nice. Thank you so much. I'll be sure to check you up on social media.
Sounds good, dear.
Okay,
much love. Bye.